what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for 300 Rise of an Empire, which of course is the sequel to 300, which came out 7 years ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 years ago. It's been 7 years. I feel so old. Oh god, I remember when that movie first came out in 2007. I think it was a March too, so it's actually been pretty much exactly 7 years since it came out. I remember when it first came out because everybody was quoting it. Everybody was saying it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, there's no way Spider-Man 3 or Pirates of the Caribbean 3 will beat it and stuff. I remember when people were saying that. There's no way that those two are going to be better. That movie was just excellent, and they were right too. But anyway, I remember when it first came out, I saw it on a Monday or Tuesday. I know I didn't see it on a Friday because I went back to high school the day after that, and everybody was quoting it. It was like an epidemic just broke out. Everybody, even the girls in the freaking class, were quoting that movie. I was like, what happened? I don't believe I didn't see like a couple of classmates just like grow a beard out of nowhere and like have a cape with no shirt on, 6-pack of abs, and freaking kicking people down holes. I don't believe I didn't see that because everybody was quoting it and loving that movie so much. I even remember we had a substitute teacher one day and we watched part of the movie because someone had it on burned disc. I remember people watching it in the high school, in the school. That movie, if you watch that movie, you know that's not appropriate class material. So we saw it in school. So anyway, we saw most of it in school. So anyway, I was looking forward to 300 Rise of an Empire because I love the original movie. I really do. It was a big part of high school for me. So I love the original. So what did I think of the sequel or the prequel? Let's talk about it. Alright, so the story for 300 Rise of an Empire is actually kind of interesting because it takes place before, during, and after the events of the original movie 300, of course. And that's actually interesting. We get a little bit of prequel, we get a little bit of sequel, and then we get a little bit of what was going on in other parts of the world during 300. That's kind of cool. Hey, it's interesting. Thing is that the story, while decent, it's not amazing, but it's alright, is not the main thing you want to go see 300 for. That's not the reason why you wanted to go see the first movie. You want to go see it for action and all that stuff. But let me explain the story anyway. The story here follows Themistocles, who is a Athenian general who is fighting off against Artemisia, played by Eva Green. By the way, Themistocles is played by Sullivan Stapleton. I think I got that right. And Artemisia is played by Eva Green, like I said, and she is pretty much the leader of the army that, of course, Xerxes owns. Of course, he's Persian, so the Persian army. There you go, that's what I'm trying to say. And the story here follows the big battle between Themistocles, the general of the Athenians, and of course the Persians led by Eva Green. And that's pretty much the main story. It's just like a bunch of battles here and there. Oh, we lost this time, we'll win next time. And, you know, shing shing, oh, slow motion, abs, death, some sex. Just one sex scene, and death. That's pretty much it. So that's the story of 300 Rise of an Empire. That's all you need to know. Now, like I said, the story isn't anything special. It really isn't. But the original 300 movie didn't have a great story either. It had some likable characters, sure. Like Leonidas was really likable. I found Xerxes to be kind of interesting. I wanted to know more about him. I found the mutant midget guy, whatever his name was, I can't remember. The one that betrayed everybody at the end. I found him actually kind of interesting. I wanted to know a little bit more about him. And I also thought Lena Headey as Queen Gorgo was really good in that film. So most of those characters come back into this film, especially Xerxes, who we actually get to know a little bit more about his past and how he became Xerxes. We get to see those characters again, and we get to know a little bit more about them, and I like that. But also you get new characters. You get Themistocles, played by Sullivan Stapleton, who not many people are saying is very interesting, but I liked him as the main hero. I thought he was actually not entirely as charismatic as Leonidas, but again, he wasn't trying to be Leonidas, which I liked. I liked that he wasn't trying to be Gerard Butler's Leonidas. He was good enough. He was good. I like Sullivan Stapleton. I've seen him in a couple of movies, and I've even seen that show Strike Back. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, and he's a good actor. I really like him. And of course, Eva Green as Artemisia, the best villain of this year so far, which isn't saying much, but still, she's a great villain. She is really, really evil. Not only is she evil, but she is hot. Not only hot, but she is just really damn good in this film. I mean, the dialogue isn't great, but she also has a really interesting, very tragic backstory, so you understand why she's so angry at the Greeks. I mean, you definitely understand why. And I thought she was great. I really thought she was very menacing, a great villain, very evil, very badass, even though most of the time all she's doing is sitting there and just like posing, doing this thing. You know, she's like, hey, what's up, picking her nose and shit, eating it. Who cares? She's badass. It doesn't matter. And of course, like I said before, there's a sex scene in this movie with her. Magnifico. I mean, it didn't fit at all in the movie, but I don't care. There you go. I mean, she gets nude in pretty much every movie. Besides, like what? Casino Royale and Dark Shadows. That was it. And those are PG-13 movies. So, if she could, she would have. But anyway, the acting here is fine. I mean, it is. No one's amazing, besides Evergreen. But no one is like astonishing, but you know, everybody does their job, and for the most part the characters are, you know, either likable or really hateable, and they turn out to be likable, like Evergreen. So anyway, and Xerxes too. Of course, the main reason why I could go see 300 is because of the action and the special effects. And while a lot of people are going to think this is very derivative of the first film, you know, with the style and the slow motion and, you know, all of the blood here, I found it to be very, very entertaining. I haven't seen 300 in a very long time, but I do remember a lot of the key sequences. Of course, my favorite one was when they pushed everybody off a cliff. It was slow motion, you see everybody falling off, and then, like, the whole sky is filled with arrows, and everybody's like, oh, yo, block it. Here, there's a lot of really epic, very, very intense, and very, very cinematic war scenes where they're on a boat or something like that. Most of it is them on a boat, and then they jump onto another boat and they start hacking and slashing, of course. And there's a lot of really interesting, very, very intense, very tense, I should say, sequences like that. And I thought the action was not only filmed well, I could tell what was going on. It was very well choreographed. It looked amazing. The style of this film, the special effects was phenomenal. A lot of people might not like that the CG blood looks very fake in this movie. I mean, the first one, it looked very fake, but this one, it's going for even more fake, I think. But I really liked that. I thought it was very interesting visually. I thought just the action itself was just pretty much when it got started, it was so tense and so entertaining and so well shot. I just couldn't love it. I mean, I couldn't love it. I couldn't stop loving it. That's what I meant to say. I couldn't love it. I hated it. Fuck it. No, I really enjoyed it. So the action, when you're going into this film expecting action and you completely get it, I mean, you have to be happy, right? And you get it just in spades. This movie's like an hour and a half long, and it goes by so quickly, but when it gets to the action, I was just like, oh, my eyes feel so good because all this action is pleasing them right now. So, I think this movie's a lot of fun. If you loved the original 300, this movie gives you more of that, except a little bit extra, like like cherry on top for your 300 Sunday. I really enjoyed it. What am I going to give it? Oh, by the way, I saw this in IMAX 3D, and oh boy, my tummy shook so many times in that IMAX theater, and also the 3D was really good. So if you have an extra like $8 to spend, if you're going to go see this movie anyway, go see it in IMAX. I mean, it was really good. So I'm going to give this, you know what, I really loved it. I'm going to give it a 35 out of 40. I don't care what anybody says. I love this film. It was a lot of fun, and I don't really have many complaints, besides the story being not that great, but again, who cares? Yeah, you know what you're getting into. I really did love this film. I'm going to go see it again. I truly enjoyed it. So there you go, 300 Rise of an Empire. I loved it. Sorry. So there you go. There's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.